So there's many differing opinions about Sean Strickland, and after the weekend I saw that there was a bunch of different stories you could cover. There was him having a conversation with Khamzat about going too hard in training. There was him driving along the highway arguing with some guy who apparently produced a gun and he didn't give two fucks. And every other day he's saying some rude shit about fucking Luke Rockhold, or he's saying something about Jared Cannonier with his upcoming fight. So you're kind of like, holy shit, he's in the news so much. His persona is so big. Is it fake? Is it for real? Is it an act? And we're going to have a quick little look at it to see if we can actually get to the bottom of it and find out exactly whether he's playing a role or whether he is legit. Before we do that, if you could subscribe and share the video. The videos never get shared on Facebook, and apparently it helps the algorithm massively. It's even in the titles. You'll see that you get a red notch for not sharing on Facebook. I'm not on Facebook, so if anyone is on Facebook and they could share out this video, that'd be awesome. So we have Jared Cannonier and Sean Strickland set up for October. I think it'll be a good fight. Cannonier likes to stay on the feet. Strickland likes to stay on the feet. They like to stand and bang. He got a little bit unlucky. I think he dropped his guard slightly low and Pereira panned him out. It is what it is. He took it like a man. His response in the aftermath of that was all praise to Pereira, and he got caught.
Kept thinking, man, this is going to be an easy fight. I see everything this guy's throwing. I'm getting the better of the exchanges. I'm going to beat this guy up for 3 rounds. And then halfway through, I got caught. So hats off to Alex. He's a killer.
You know, he talked a lot of shit on the way up to it, and he went in there, he put on the performance, and it didn't go his way. Fair play. Love the way he attacked stuff. And personally, the way I feel about Sean Strickland, obviously I'm gonna ally with 90% of his rhetoric because he speaks the truth, kind of like this.
So the problem is, the problem is we're trying to create a pussified world. That's just the facts. You have the leftist organization trying to castrate all the men where you can't even hit a motherfucker that deserves it. There's a lot of nutless men out there bringing the masculinity down. And here's the thing, if you talk shit, you should get hit.
100% agree with that sentiment, and it was done in a decent way, not as articulate as the likes of an Andrew Tate, who has been eradicated from the internet. And if you go look up Sean Strickland, he's gone from Instagram and Twitter as well.
To Twitter, fuck you guys, I don't miss you, but I also fucking love you. I slightly miss you.
These people see masculinity or stoicism as a threat to their society, but drag queen story time seems to be perfectly good. Whatever. And over the weekend we had this story coming out. Khamzat, understand you're better than everyone. And I watched this clip. We'll have a look at it. Basically, it's Khamzat was training with Sean Strickland in the same gym, and Khamzat was going extremely hard, as you would expect, and he was trying to smash someone, and Strickland stepped in and had a word.
Be nice. No, if you sparred him, no, he gets a little bit, yeah. Be nice. Come up. Understand, you're better than everybody. So just don't hurt people.
So there you have it. He jumped in and he had a little conversation with Khamzat, and he said, listen, you're better than everyone, so don't hurt people. And it was slightly ironic, and I saw a bunch of people talking shit about it because Strickland is known for going extremely hard in training. There's numerous different videos of him backfisting guys, kicking them in the stomach, punching them in the guts when they're down, not stopping. And look, it is what it is. It's a little bit hypocritical, but I think the guy is a very nuanced guy. And when I went back and really started to try investigate the psychology of the dude, to try figure out whether he was doing a Colby Covington, whether he was playing a role. Everyone knows that Colby Covington is playing a role. Fact is that he's a brilliant wrestler, and that backs it up, you know, because the cardio is so high. So you can play the role, you can talk the shit, but once you can get into the ring and into the octagon and back that shit up, then you're perfectly fine to do it. Sean Strickland is not playing a role. Let's just get that straight. 100%. I've gone back and I've read interviews and I've watched interviews and I've tried to get inside the mind frame of exactly where he's coming from, and he's extremely relatable. I think he's extremely relatable to people because he puts it all out there. There's no act. You know, he might have like heightened the persona by 25% just for social media and to really push himself as a UFC on the mic type of guy. And I've seen all these videos calling him a psychopath, calling him crazy, calling him a Nazi because of pronouncements he made when he was on with Ariel Helwani, the shill. So basically he was talking about influences in his life that he himself said were not appropriate and not warranted for the world that we live in now. But his only therapy was to go out there and fight, and that MMA had become, you know, a cognitive therapy for him. And he's an angry guy. He is an angry guy, and I have to say that's extremely relatable to me, because the world that we live in now, where suppression of thought and critical thinking seems to be pushed upon all of us, you can't help but walk around and be angry. So when you see Sean Strickland come out and wear his heart on his sleeve and really open up about a traumatic past that he actually suffered, but he does it in a very self-deprecating way when he says, listen, other people have had way worse lives and make my life look like I lived in Disneyland. I fucking love listening to a guy like that. He's not holding up his hands. He's not looking for you to feel sorry for him. He's just putting it out there. He's giving you a reason to why he acts the way he acts. And of course, you wouldn't expect anything else as a response from someone like Ariel Helwani and his ilk. He responded with this.
But I dealt with very bad anxiety as a youngster, and I've recently talked to a therapist about it, and she helped change me dramatically in the last 10 months. And so I would just say, as a parting piece of, like, it really does help.
Oh. So there you have it. Go see a therapist, get on some SSRIs, take some mood stabilizers, totally nullify yourself, become an even more empty vessel, and buy into the doctrine of absolute libtards like him. The alternative for that is to get healthy and get fit and find ways to exert your energies and your depression in other ways that don't involve sitting around talking about feelings. And that's exactly what Sean Strickland is doing. So not only do I agree with Sean Strickland's way of attacking his depression in terms of going out, fighting, getting fit, and finding an outlet that you can express yourself, I find it shocking that the MM media and journalists and most of these cocktards usually revert back to, let's talk about it. Let's talk about our feelings. By virtue of the fact that you're an athlete and your endorphins are pumped up super high because you're working out every day, let's not talk about the benefits of that. Let's talk about feelings and going to see someone and possibly getting on some sort of pills. I think Sean Strickland's way of attacking and opening up about his own past is something that is profound, and I think that it's nuanced. I think you have to really look at it and really understand the world that we live in to appreciate what he's doing and what he's saying. He has crazy pronouncements.
Oh man, no, if I kill someone in the ring, I'd fucking make me very happy.
Yes, he says crazy shit.
Luke Rockhold is a definition of what a uptight cunt is, and I'm glad that I do not have to hear his name.
But let's just peel back the layers here. Let's just have a look at what's underneath the surface. We have an extremely open and honest guy who is telling you exactly what has transpired through his life and how he is dealing with it in a positive way. Because he's fighting in the UFC, he's training every day, he's a huge fight coming up with Jared Cannonier, he's a big star. So it's not as if his life has divulged into some sort of tortured street life. It hasn't. He's successful. He's a successful guy with all these problems, with all these traumas, with all these anxieties. He has reached a plateau where he has found balance, and he's extremely entertaining. I absolutely love what he's doing. I want him to continue what he's doing. I want him to continue to win fights and really get up there in terms of UFC status. And I think we should be admiring and promoting guys like Sean Strickland a lot more than what we do with other fighters. If you agree, maybe share out the video, maybe drop a comment. Let's have a conversation about it. Cheers.